Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Michael and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So if you've been paying attention recently on the channel, I've been spending just more time reading and applying my skill sets and trying to just build up this brand for apartment syndications and doing more of that, more apartment syndications. So obviously it's a long-term play. It's going to take a long time. So, I mean, as I said in the other video, my video production will decrease, probably about one video a week, but that should be the minimum that I'll put out content for you guys weekly. And so in this video though, as I'm, just refreshing my mind and gaining more knowledge on apartment syndications, I actually wanted to share with you a couple of good websites that I actually go to get that knowledge. So I'll do a screen capture, and that's why I'm in my computer room where I do all my editing of my videos. But without further ado, let's go through that. And you probably noticed too that I did shave my beard. Maybe I'll put pictures at the very end, show you how scruffy I looked. I kept it up for 3 weeks, which was my personal record, and it's got a little bit, it's too uncomfortable. So I am just deciding to just cut it all off yesterday. So now I'm real fresh and clean. But without further ado, let's go into these couple of websites that I have. I haven't done any deals with these guys. I'm just kind of using their websites for knowledge, and I don't know, maybe the website that I'm working on will be similar or kind of the same aspect, providing information and whatnot. We're definitely not as big as these guys are, and they've done a lot more deals than the group that I'm with, but it's something to strive for and something to look towards as we progress and get more experience. So let's try this out. Using the screen capture software, it limits me to 15 minutes. So let's see how much I can get done in 15. From here, okay, so 3, 2, 1, capturing software. All right, cool. All right, so here is one of the really good websites. It's called michaelblank.com. He usually hosts a seminar in the US about once a year, but with COVID right now, he's not doing that. But he's got a lot of good information. The website's super clean. You've probably heard of him before if you look at apartment syndications. He's one of the big players in the United States for this type of asset value class. But what I want to show you though is if you go to learning, and then what I like to go on his website is actually listen to podcasts. And you could listen to the whole podcast. What I've been doing recently is I've been skipping the podcast and kind of just clicking on these links here. So you can click on one, let's say, here you go, the first one that's most recent. What's cool about his website that I really like a lot is if you scroll down, it just has these key takeaways. And so you don't even have to listen to the whole thing, spend the 45 minutes or an hour, whatever it is to listen. You just get to the point. And so you can read through all of these, and he's got tons and tons of podcasts. I think that says episode 223. So that's one website that I'd really encourage you to check out. If you're just remotely interested in apartment syndications, definitely worth checking out. Another one that's really good, this guy, Rod Cleef, he puts up a seminar, I believe also yearly. Let's see, to get to his information on knowledge that's free, just hit blog right here. And I mean, there's also podcasts, but I've been paying attention more to the blog, which is just articles that were written that have good information on, like here's one, measuring the difference between IRR and equity multiple. I ended up reading this one last week, just a good refresher. Kind of analyzing what information you need to understand and know to go into these deals, and then being able to talk the lingo, because you might hear things at actual local meetups. Someone might say, oh, what's the T12 on that apartment complex? And what T12 just means is like trailing 12. So 12, the past 12 months of budgeting that has gone with that apartment complex. So looking at their numbers for the past 12 months. Or they might say, what's the cash on cash? What's the cap rate? What's the IRR? I personally, you might hear, you might hear a cap rate in apartment syndications, but I think IRR is probably a little bit more valuable because it accounts for the time value of money, and it's spread over that term of that deal. So it could be 5 years, it could be 7 years, etc. So IRR, in my opinion, is probably the one I want to hear the most, at least first. And then obviously you want to dig into the numbers and how they got it. It's going to be pretty complex. So typically IRR is going to be done through a spreadsheet. Cap rate is a lot more simple. To crunch the numbers, obviously you still need the data, but that's kind of how you analyze some deals. So yeah, Rockleaf is really good. Another one I really like, I think this one's probably the most technical in apartment syndications for just reading, and it's called joefairless.com. He's got so much information. Let's see, there's a really good tab on here under resources for blog, and there's one link that I found earlier, but basically it goes over like all the terms that an investor should know in apartment syndications, and it had tons of links. Like even here, like, okay, what is an accredited investor? And then it kind of goes into, okay, so if you're an accredited investor, these articles might be applicable to you. And then, you can go even to the other tabs he has, like, okay, well, let's go generic. Let's say what's so cool about apartment multifamily investing, and then it has links of that criteria. It's like, why would you want to do it versus a single family home, a stock market, you name it. Something to keep in mind too is that if you go into, start reading about these apartment syndications, it's different from a REIT. So REIT is a real estate investment trust. You can put way less money into it, maybe even $100, $10. It's like a stock essentially that's focused on real estate. And so it'll kind of act like an apartment syndication a little bit, but it's not a true apartment syndication where you're actually in the deal and you're signing a lot of contracts. An apartment syndication, what I was saying was it's going to cost a lot more to get involved, so keep that in mind. Most, these guys right here, the big dogs, they're going to require, $50K, $100K, $75K minimums to even participate in their deals, and then they might want to vet you to be a part of the deal because this is a public syndication, which I believe is under 501c, which is like under the SCC or the security trust. They have to go through a certain set of rules to participate and allow people to be involved with this. So just keep that in mind. I think the best thing you can do if you're remotely interested is just read about it and then save up a lot of money. I would have at least 25K you're willing to commit to the deal, and if you're going into a private syndication, you might be able to put in less than 25K. It really depends on the general partners and how they're structuring their deals, because it's more paperwork to have more people involved. Which could be more headaches, so you just kind of got to feel the group out. So yeah, that's Joe Fairless is really good. Let's go to this one. This one is not specific to apartment syndications, but I wanted to add it in this video because it's really good just for taxes and like asset management. And they're called Anderson Tax Advisors. They have a podcast also that's on like, the Apple Podcasts and all of the smartphone stuff. Their website's cool. It's the same exact podcast, just thrown on their website. There's like 2 guys or so that are always doing the videos, but they got really good technical information on tax strategies. And this is going to be pretty technical. So you probably want to be a little bit awake when you listen to it, but very good information. It's been a little bit since I've listened to it, so I should probably get back into it, the swing of it. They also have questions and answers, so I believe when they're doing their live stream, they'll throw up tons of questions that people have, and they'll just answer it directly. So pretty cool place to go to. They got tons of information. Let's see what else. thinkfamily.com. Let's see, I don't even remember who runs this one. I recognize her face. I actually don't listen or read as much about this, but I wanted to throw it in here since it's another good resource that you could probably spend time just obtaining knowledge on. They probably don't have as much. So, okay, they got a blog also, which is awesome. And then a couple articles you can read about, which is cool. So, and then the last browser is just, the software I'm using to capture the screen. And I'll just hit pause on here so you're not staring at the screen. Okay, cool. Yeah, so those are a couple of websites that I got that I recommend you guys check out to just read about apartment syndications and get more knowledge on it. There's obviously going to be a lot more people online, but those are the big ones that I've paid attention to and kind of just absorbed knowledge from. So that's really it. I guess at near the end of this video, I'll throw up a couple images of my beard that was 3 weeks in. I yeah, I just couldn't take it anymore, so I decided to, just take it all off. So that was cool, and that's pretty much it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or topics that you want me to go over, definitely leave it in the comments below, and I'll get back to you. And I hope you guys just have an awesome day. Keep up the good work. I made a video actually on this a while back, how to stop worrying and start living by Dale Carnegie, and then I went to his graveyard in Belton, Missouri, which surprised me how close that is to where I currently am. But something that I wanted to just add into this video, I think what is good about having just patterns and behaviors is that sometimes you might get stuck. You might get stuck in a rut, and you feel like there's nothing else you can do to maybe benefit your situation or continue to grow. You just get kind of burnt out and tired. So what I recommend you do, and this is something that I'm again just picking up, because you can do something for a long time, but then after a while you just get burned out and you don't want to do anything. And that's the toughest thing, is how long will you be burned out before you can actually get back up on your feet and then go back again and back to the grind, and constantly learning. So what I recommend is you just want to build those small behaviors. So what I am picking up again, because I used to read a lot of books all the time, but then I felt like I wasn't actually doing anything. So I took a good amount of time off, and I think the balance, you have to find that balance. So probably gonna just read like one chapter a day of some book in the morning. So like just right when I get up, I'm fully clear-headed, and I can just read, and then just take in that knowledge, and then actually like start my day after that, and whatever the busyness of life takes you and takes me. But that's just a small trick that I wanted to keep in mind for you guys, just to not get stuck in a rut, essentially. So all right, well, now that is all that I got for you guys. Thank you so much for watching the Growth Mindset channel. I want to say thanks again for subscribing, and if you're sharing this content, I think most recent we're around 235 subscribers, which is truly amazing for me. I've been wanting to do this for a very long time, and October is about the 2-year mark on this channel, so I appreciate the support, and definitely staying engaged. So I read every comment, and I try to give you my sincere feedback, and hopefully you can tell in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching the Growth Mindset channel, and I hope you just have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye.